For daily ask Reddit, partners of sleep talkers or sleepwalkers, what gems have you to share? My wife will tell me the next day when I do this. Her favorite story to tell is that she woke up in the middle of the night to find me slowly walking out of our bedroom. Wife, are you okay? What are you doing? Me, there's somebody downstairs in the kitchen, unrolling the tinfoil. Wife, oh okay. What's your plan? Me, I'm going to stop them. Wife, shall we get a bit more sleep then both go down together? Me, okay. And I went back to bed. Subsequent investigations found a small plastic bag on the floor near my head, being rustled by the movement of the curtain, the window being open. My girl woke up one night and said, "Did you find your rocks?" And I asked her what she was talking about, and she said, "I don't know, I'm just trying to make conversation," and promptly went back to sleep. She has no recollection of this. My boyfriend woke me up the other day by gently putting his fingers in my mouth, and I kept moving my head out of the way until eventually I was like, "Can you stop that?" He then sounded genuinely upset and asked why I woke him up as he was having a really nice dream about feeding a deer. Brilliant. My aunt likes to tell the story about her and my cousin sharing a hotel room one time. My aunt woke up having to pee and found my cousin sitting up in bed with her arms folded across her abdomen, kind of rocking back and forth and giggling quietly. When my aunt asked her what she was doing, my cousin said, "I'm holding a baby, and it has an adult smile." I found this story deeply unsettling. One night, my boyfriend woke me up in the middle of the night, tapping me on my shoulder. He put his finger on his mouth, whispered shush to me, then pointed at the door and told me I can hear something, don't move. Predictably, I nearly shit my pants. All the worst possible scenarios crossed my mind, and the moment of silence after he shushed me felt like hours. Then, he started waving his hands and talking about Tetris, the twirlies, IDK, and making sure we don't align. And that's how I learned my boyfriend talks in his sleep. I was watching TV once when my sister came out of her room and shoved her pillow in a kitchen drawer. After that she crossed the living room, opened the front door, and said, "They're almost here." She closed the door and went back to her room. It was my first experience with sleepwalking and scared the complete shit out of me. As far as I'm aware, that is the only incident she has ever had. My wife started screaming one night that she was lost in the local grocery store and that no matter where she went she couldn't find her way out. I asked her, has she tried checking out at the cash registers? She then looked at me and said in her most sincere voice, "That's why you are the smartest person I know." And she rolled over and fell back asleep. So this one time, while my S/O was sleeping, she randomly reaches over and starts to pet my leg softly. When I ask her what she's doing she looks at me like I'm stupid and says, "What does it look like?" "I'm petting this fluffy baby penguin." Then pauses for a second, pats my leg again, and blurts out, "Wait, this isn't a penguin." I have never laughed so hard over someone talking in their sleep. My grandfather was a hard sleep talker. My grandmother has a funny story. One day my grandfather, while sleeping, was saying, "Do I punch the susshole?" My grandmother replayed, "Yeah, punch him." Then my grandfather in his sleep punched her. I woke up one night when my husband started flailing around in the bed. It shocked me and I shouted, "What's wrong?" Then he punched me in the face. I yelled out and started crying. Then he woke up and shouted, "What's wrong?" He dreamt he was being chased and then turned round and punched them. My mum, who is in her 80s, often falls asleep in her chair while I'm visiting her. She sleep eats. Not real food, but she goes through the motions of holding a plate and bringing food to her mouth. It's hilarious watching her. I asked her once if it was nice, and she said yes, it's very tasty. Edit to thank folks for the awards. My wife was mumbling a lot and suddenly shouted, "Donkey kick," as she kicked me in my shin. So that was fun. My wife was in her finals week, So she woke up in the middle of the night telling me she discovered a way to study while sleeping. So I asked her how, and she closed her eyes and went back to sleep.